What is going on, everyone? My name's Boit, and I'm back with some more Age of Mythology. The Titans action, spawning in the top side of the map in the blue color, playing as Ra. His name is SuperAfim. His opponent today in the red color, playing as Kronos. His name is Marcos. The map is Tundra Pools. And I'm excited to see this one. We've got ourselves a bit of an interesting opening here from SuperAfim, as he's actually not sent the Pharaoh over to empower the dock up on this position. He's going for a scout instead. He finds himself the Anvil of Hephaestus, giving him a reduction in armory upgrade. I'm not sure exactly what his plan is with this Pharaoh, trying to maybe find himself a oracle or something to kill before the dock comes up. I don't know, but there's going to be a very delayed dock here for SuperAfim. So yet again, we see a Kronos player on this map. Now, Kronos on this map, as we already know, has got some tricks up his sleeve. Trick number one is that you can time shift from this side of the map up to this side of the map. Trick number two is you can time shift from also from this side of the map to this side of the map. And obviously, trick number three is you can time shift from, I believe, this side of the map to this side of the map here. So you can actually get all of your docks to every single one of the ponds without moving your citizens there. You can get it there without moving the citizens, which is a big deal on this map. Now, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily going to be lights out here, as SuperAfim actually going to be dropping double docks down onto this position to try and play around Marcos's early deconstructions. But Marcos at this point says, I'm not going to deconstruct. Or maybe he will as he moves the Oracle back in. What has Marcos seen? He sees the double dock, so he's like, yeah, I don't care. I don't want to give you the gold back. So nice play here from Marcos to start the game off, not wasting his deconstruction on that position. I'm not sure if I mentioned it. The map is Tundra Pools. Relatively new map. Not that new. It's been around for a while, but a very fun map nonetheless. Now, the thing here is, for Egyptian, your best opener on a map like this, any map that has got a specific amount of fish, you kind of want to have a specific opening for. So a map like Tundra Pools, where there is 1, 2, 3, 4, this is only 8 fish here in these ponds, you kind of want to be finding yourself advancing very fast. So I actually think that there's a reason to be looking to go for your crazy Mediterranean builds, which come from vanilla side of things. So the crazy vanilla builds where you could go up at like 4 minutes and 2 seconds are really good here on this map with Ra. Idea being you put your dock down over here, you get your fish while you're going to the classical age, you put another dock down over here, you get your fish coming out of here as well, and then you can just play a kind of fast second town center on these situations and almost sack the water because you've got your town center up, your opponent puts a lot of resources into killing your water off, no problems there, and you're good to go. But we'll see how it goes here as Marcos has dropped the dock down onto this position as well. He is looking like he's going for a bit of a later advance time as the temple is coming up. Bit surprised to see there's 2 docks before the classical age. Generally means a 5 minute and 5 second advance time going to be coming through for Marcos. One thing you definitely need to do when you're doing that sort of a build, though, is get yourself a mana, which means you need a villager on the gold. As we can see, that is the case here for Marcos. A very late advance time. We'll see how this is going to go. I'm not sure if this was 100% the plan for Marcos or not. As that citizen comes out, he will get himself. Actually, he doesn't need the mana because he's only got. He's actually going to have exactly the right amount of population here. The fishing ship comes out, that'll be 32, plus the citizen comes out, that'll be 35. So no problems there, though. I'm fairly sure just going for a 430 advance, I guess because he only has 4 fish here, that's why he's doing it. But yeah, I think you could probably just go for a 430 here, or even a 4 minute and 10 second, a 4 minute build will be a little bit better. As the temple coming down, another dock coming down here for SuperAfim to kind of defend and play around the deconstruction. As he has actually managed to advance relatively quickly here. Relatively quickly? What is the advance time? Plus 30 seconds from about now. So 5 minutes. Very, very late, actually. This is a surprisingly late advance time. I think if Marcos had gone for the 4-minute advance, he would have straight won this water here immediately. And SuperAfim would have been in a really, really bad time because that dock would not have come up. Deconstruction would have come down onto this dock. A dock would have time shifted in onto this position over here. And it would have been lights out. But Marcos, he's taken his time. He's got a lot of resources in the bank, ready to drop down some military buildings and things, getting himself the hand axe, pickaxe, and everything else. Going to be trying to play this one very differently. The idea of maybe holding your deconstructions for a Migdol stronghold also works nicely as well. And we'll see how it goes. The barracks does get dropped down immediately here. As the Valor comes through, the dock's getting targeted down. Cabinet going to come through. No problems here for SuperAfim. He's going to be able to defend this. He's going to be able to defend that fairly easily, but it's just wasting 150 resources for SuperAfim. Good idea, and Marcos can just move over to the other side and kind of force the same thing out. SuperAfim getting himself a relatively early purse scene. This is something that I've been debating as to whether or not rushing this technology out is actually worth it, depending on what your strategy is. If you're going for a one town center gameplay, which SuperAfim isn't going for here, you're going for a 2 town center, then maybe delaying it is a better idea. And we do kind of see the delay from SuperAfim, so no real problems, and no rush out for Marcos here. Idea being that the purse scene with only a handful of fishing ships just isn't really worth rushing. It's better to get a second town center up or get some other technologies out for some units that have given you like more value or something like that. As we do see Marcos now moving up over here, finds a villager. Does he have focus out? He does have focus, so the units will be able to potentially pick this one off, and it looks like first blood will be drawn here for Marcos as the villager does fall, and the unit's going to start taking down this dock over here as well. And I imagine SuperAfim at some point here will simply just build himself that one cabinet to defend on this position. And we'll see how it goes. As Marcos is cut all production, and he's going to be going for a fast heroic here. I actually really like this try here from Marcos. Idea being to go for Rhea, force out a little bit of problems on both of the docks here, get a little bit of damage done, but he's going to be going for a heroic gauge. Does he have the he doesn't have the gold at this moment. Why does he have no gold? Not sure. Oh, is he getting a town center? I'm confused. Put your villagers over onto gold, Marcos. We've seen fast heroics against Ra from Gaia and from Kronos in this tournament, going through Rhea and absolutely demolishing Ra players who go for a fast second town center. It's a really, really good option for Atlantean in this matchup. But it seems like Marcos is a little bit too distracted with trying to get things done with the army that he's letting his macro slip ever so slightly, and he's not playing into that game plan that I thought maybe would have been a good idea here. There's an armory coming up on this position here. Medium slingers coming through as SuperAfim might even be trying to grab that third town center after all is said and done, as the units have to retreat back over here as well. There's a third town center coming down for Marco, so he just wants to go for a huge boom here. Very similar to last game. Now, the thing is, on this map, SuperAfim doesn't really have a safe second gold mine, so there is a world where just going mass units in the classical age, denying this town center, is going to be a possibility for Marcos as well. But it looks like SuperAfim, his eyes are already set on this town center, and I don't think that Marcos is going to be able to stop this one. And we'll see how it goes. There's a gold mine over here that potentially could be grabbed. Marcos can start time shifting buildings all across the map here onto gold mines if he wants to go for that sort of a gold starve. His wall's coming up over here to try and defend this gold mine as his home gold mine is getting closer to being finished here. And Marcos at this point, does he have an armory somewhere? I don't see the armory. He's at 75 to 75 population. I thought maybe that was on purpose. It is. The armory is coming up and he will be going to that next age. So the big question is, what god is he going to pick? So both Hyperion and Rhea here make a lot of sense, given the timing attack. But we're seeing Rhea. I think that maybe I want to lean towards the fact this is quite late. I want to lean towards the idea of Hyperion being a little bit of a better idea here. Getting Satyr out, getting Destroyers out, getting Arcus out, making that composition as fast as humanly possible for Marcos could be a good way to play as the villagers getting pushed off of this location as Marcos gets a little bit of a raid. The unit's going to come through for SuperAfim to defend as they run straight over to the army. Probably not going to lose any villagers here. Nice play, good defense from SuperAfim as the game continues along. And Marcos puts even more military buildings down at this point. Lots of villagers are going to be getting trained out here for Marcos as well to get him up to full population. Shadoof coming through for SuperAfim to start the farm transition after all is said and done. As Marcos is kind of trapped in the main base of SuperAfim. He might actually lose these units. So we'll see if he wants to sack them to try and kill off some villagers or something as an idea or not. That's the granary. Or the hunt does get finished up there, and I imagine SuperAfim's going to start farming as he does go up through Hathor. I love the late farms here. I love the late plow. Not the late plow, but the late farms, the late rain after the heroic age, giving a huge boost to the economy in the heroic age. Means you can get a really, really nice mythic age or start a trade route or get a huge amount of upgrades. Lots of different options here for SuperAfim. Whereas when you go for something a little bit like an earlier rain, you don't get that boost. You kind of find yourself in a bit of a worse off position, in my opinion. As the cabinet coming through here, getting a little bit of damage done. As the unit's starting to move forward, we do see that behemoth starting to attack the town center on this position. The Pharaoh's already here, though, and right next to the town center to boot, so it can be a little bit tough to take that one out. Do we see any palaces coming up here for Marcos? Not just yet, as he needs to pull back. He's not ready to take this fight. He needs full population here. Haunted Consecration coming through. For those of you who don't know what this technology does, it is arguably the most useless technology in the game. Is it coming out here? Not only can you only get it from the town center, I believe, which means you can't build a citizen out of it, but also costs 200 gold and gives an 11% bonus to your gather rate. 11% bonus. If you have 3 town centers, is equal to 1 extra favor a minute. 1.5 extra favor a minute, roughly. It's not it. It's definitely not it. As units coming back in here, Pharaoh still can be targeted. Marcos not paying attention to his army. Hasn't started the DPS just yet, and he's going to be retreating back immediately. Not happy to take the fight still. As SuperAfim's now at 145 population, happily on this second gold mine, and Marcos is going to have to figure out something here in this game. He's up on this top corner of the map over here. Villagers moving over here as well for Marcos. Plenty of wood in the bank. Still no palaces down. As SuperAfim at any point here can start utilizing that rain. There is still access to a trader here, I believe, so we can steal that Patsukos away, which would be a big, big help. Rhea's gift technology is also pretty bad. I'm pretty sure all of Rhea's technologies are fairly useless from memory. I can't remember which one Rhea's gift is or where you buy it from, but I'm pretty sure they're all kind of lackluster to some degree. As SuperAfim's army still too strong here. It's majority axemen at this point. I think if maybe Marcos had built out some, well, he does just built out a whole bunch of Arcus and destroyers instead of throwing down all of these military barracks. Just built 2 palaces and made destroyers. Probably would have been in a better position right now. We'll take a look at it because why not? Because I want to. So yeah, Rhea's gift minus 25 favor, upgrade cost. So what are you going to get? Yeah, no, that's awful. That's awful. There's no good upgrades you can get. Maybe, no, you just can't get value out of it. That's funny. Does it cost favor as well? Oh, he's getting it. It doesn't cost favor, so it does give you extra favor. So if the idea with Rhea is basically trying to give Atlantean players more favor in the end, but Marcos at this point is at 100 favor, and what can he build? He's getting himself Mail of Orichalcos, right? But what can he build with myth units, myth unit wise? Not a whole lot. Not a whole lot. Behemoths are decent. They cost a lot of food though, and they already cost not much favor as well. But we'll see we'll see how this goes as SuperAfim kind of catches, or Marcos catches SuperAfim out of position as the shifting sands gets used. And now Marcos is out of position as that behemoth is going to be falling there to those priests and the Pharaoh to take that one down. The town center will not be going down on this day as the mercenary cavalry getting produced as well for SuperAfim as Marcos just pulls back down the other side of the map here. Villagers are now on this gold mine over here. We still haven't seen Marcos getting himself any palaces. There's the first palace. He is able to go to the Mythic Age. Implode at this point would be very big. One of the huge timing attacks that Kronos and Gaia have that Uranos doesn't, which I think is a really good reason for those players who don't really want to play Uranos. If you want to play a different god and play a little bit more strategically, then kind of it's not that Uranos doesn't play strategically, but a little bit more strategically rather than playing distraction games with the speed of your units. Getting this Atlas timing down and hitting a really, really strong timing attack with that Implode to kill off all of your opponent's units a lot of the time can be a really great way to play. But going through Atlas means, yet again, you don't get access to a really strong myth unit to utilize in this Atlantean army, which can be a big problem for him to deal with. But that being said, Atlas does give access to some really strong buildings, and that can be a huge help as well. As the units retreating back here for Marcos. And the units here for Marcos pushing in onto this position as well. But he is getting greeted by a whole bunch of units. And Marcos in this game, he is throwing away so many units quite apparently here, in all honesty. He really needs to keep his units alive if he wants to get any sort of timing. Meanwhile, these gold villagers over here starting to get targeted down as Marcos he's falling in this game quite severely, as we do see that Son of Osiris is up at Migdol Stronghold on this position, sitting just outside of range of that town center, ready to start pushing in onto that one as the catapult's getting trained immediately. We see the Monument of the Soldiers coming through as well as the villagers retreating back here for the time being. Rain getting dropped down at this point as well as the farms are now finally set up. Do we see any attempt at a market in this corner here for SuperAfim? Not just yet, but the villagers on this location are going to get taken down as the army starting to try and take out the town center on this position. But with all of those ranged units, they're not even going to be able to take the town center down. There's just not enough stuff here for Marcos to kill that town center off. There's more citizen getting taken out. Quarry coming through here for Marcos as he's got a gold mine in the center of the map, but that's about it. Villagers retreating over here. The palace will be able to help out with the defense, but I'm sure SuperAfim won't care that much as he takes out those villagers nicely. There's more units moving in onto this position. I wouldn't mind seeing a wall get thrown up here in anticipation for that catapult to pop out as well, as SuperAfim is at full population, taking down the citizen over here as well. And we do have a nice defense at this point now by Marcos sitting underneath that palace with all those ranged units. Going to help out a lot as another behemoth coming through, but there will be mummies available for SuperAfim to use here. Another option for Marcos to try is to just start time shifting buildings over here to go after this town center as an idea as well. He doesn't really have the resources for it at this point. As the town center going to get taken down, we see those elephants coming out yet again by SuperAfim. He really likes them in this game against the Atlantean, but the Argus going to come in, kill off one of those nice and quickly here. Might be time to use Trader on either a catapult or the or anything else. We do see that Implode coming down. That's going to drag all of those units in, but it's too little too late. The town center goes down. The town center goes down as the Argus trying to take out yet another war elephant. I mean, if you see your opponent making war elephants, just get your Argus upgrade and just make a whole bunch of Argus. It's a perfect counter for those war elephant because they can't really run away from them at all, and you can just kill them all off. Huge amount of value for a myth unit there, for a one-hit kill myth unit. As the Implode basically does nothing here. Implode is a fantastic gold power against low HP units, against those classical age units, as we do indeed see the mummy utilizing that special ability as the Argus unfortunately targets down a spearman there instead of those war elephant. As the town center going to try and come back up here, but I'm sure it's not going to be allowed. But while this is happening, Marcos comes in with the behemoth. He takes out SuperAfim's town center while he's not paying attention. That is absolutely huge here for Marcos. And Marcos is also going to start marching into that main base here to try and take that town center out as well. But the War Elephants, they're marching through. SuperAfim's down to 146 or 140 population. Marcos here, he needs to stop building Behemoth and just build those Arguses to take out these elephants. It's such a great idea, but I don't know if he's going to be able to work that one out. He's still building Behemoths out at this point, as the Behemoths they're wandering into the main base, taking down the watchtowers, taking down everything else. It's going to be a little bit of a base race, so to speak, here. SuperAfim can just retreat his Son of Osiris back up here and deal with those Behemoths, or make himself out of mummy at this point. He's making himself some priests here, but with the houses going down, this is going to give Marcos a significant amount of time to play with the Behemoths, as we do see him now targeting down the town center here. SuperAfim's at 139 of 120 population, as those elephants are going to get taken down on the front here, but now villagers moving forward to try and grab the town center on the front as well. It wouldn't be a bad idea to time shift or put a palace down on this position over here as well. As the Arcus, they're just not able to defend the elephants moving through here. It's a great option here from SuperAfim, making the War Elephants against this archer-based army, as the town center almost going down. Villagers trying to shank down these Behemoths. They've got very low hack armor, but it does look like in the end here, the fortified town center will most likely fall. It's going to be close, as it does go down there, as another Behemoth moving into the main base. We do see this town center coming up over here for Marcos to boot here, but SuperAfim is still sitting at 137 to 120 population after all is said and done, as this town center going up very, very quickly. We see a Murmillo coming in to try and deny this one for the time being as well, as I don't think he's going to be able to put a stop to it here. As Marcos here, he's got plenty of resources, but no production, it seems. He can't get all the units out that he needs. In fact, he probably could utilize the Catapultis here at this point to deal with those War Elephants, and now we're seeing the Argus coming in here to deal with these elephants. I love the play. Keep a good idea, keep a good notice on that as the siege tower comes through to deal with that town center. As the village is going to come in and try and grab the town center back. A market coming up as Marcos is trying to create as much chaos in this game as he humanly can. As the unit's getting pushed back, the fortified town center is up now for SuperAfim. Marcos only at 114 population though, with SuperAfim being at 140 pop here. He's got a huge advantage pushing through here, and he's going to be able to grab this town center back shortly. I'm sure there's only one Behemoth left inside here. I mean, if Marcos were to have the resources to time shift a palace over here, that would be absolutely huge. We see a temple coming up on this position to deal with this, as the units here will be able to finish off the Behemoth. Even though it's a myth unit, it does only have that 30% hack armor, so it goes down relatively fast to things like spearmen, mercenary cavalry, and the rest. As now, SuperAfim is going to start cleaning up the center of the map. He's going to get himself that fourth town center back over here, as well as the town center in his home base. He doesn't quite have the gold at the moment. Only a couple of gold mines left. Still hasn't thought about setting up a trade route just yet in this game, but I'm not sure it's going to matter all too much in this game, as the Argus still searching around, looking for War Elephant kills here, as it does manage to kill one War Elephant there. It's so strong. This is such a great unit. As we do see the trader there being utilized on the elephant. An interesting decision. I think maybe the catapult would have made a little bit more sense. Bring that back and start sieging down the town center. As it might be a decent idea for Marcos to build himself some Behemoths out here as an idea as well. Try and take down this town center and try and get himself back into this game. As we see the hometown center of SuperAfim coming back up. He's only at 67 villages. He could start training those villages out yet again if he so chooses. Mercenary coming out on this position to try and hold, as SuperAfim now gets himself heavy War Elephant. I just imagine if how weak these elephant would be to the upgraded Argus plus the relic, which reduces the special attack time of Argus down to basically 0. Every attack will become a special attack. You can just kill off every War Elephant with the Argus. Though obviously we don't have that relic on this map, with just the nose of the Sphinx and blanks of Empress SoO being in here for Marcos. As we see the buildings getting taken down on the top side of the map, SuperAfim is going to start looking to grab this town center as well once he has the resources. She does have the resources. Now, I'm surprised it's taken him that long to send the villagers in to get that, focusing a little bit on the raids here, pushing off the gold. It looks like Marcos now has got 0 gold income in this game. He's got himself 0 trade as well as the villagers trying to sneak up onto this gold mine over here. But the blue SuperAfim units do spot that, and they're going to be chasing after them for the time being there as well. Another villager falling down there. Siege Tower just about to finish off that mana as well. Nice champion chariots coming through here for SuperAfim. He's getting his 4th town center. Would love to see that market get set up and starting that trade route as well. After all is said and done, another behemoth coming through here to try and take down the town center. But SuperAfim here getting up a temple on the front to make some more mummies out. Start putting more monuments down as well at this point as well, to help him put a stop to all of the craziness coming his way. As Marcos, he's still not able to get up to population here, as it seems like his grips on this game are dwindling. No gold income, or he's got gold mine at the front with just the 2 citizen on that gold mine for the time being, as the behemoth moving in to try and take down the town center. But with the priest here, it's too much for him. It seems retreating away. He can utilize the Arcus to try and snipe down the priest if he so chooses. And he is doing that here, but I mean, in terms of units that actually deal with the behemoth the best, funnily enough, the priests, they actually don't do that much damage. Look at the damage they do. They're doing like, what, 10 damage a second? 10 damage an attack? Ends up not being that much when you think about it. As opposed to the champion spearman or the war elephant, who's doing closer to 15 damage a second. And in that moment there, Marcos realizes no gold, no population, downtown centers, no hope. He does decide to tap out as SuperAfim levels the series 1-1 here, as Marcos can't seem to make the Uranos work on this map. I'm surprised to see him pick pick Kronos here and not utilize the time shift and not go for a faster advance like we have been seeing here to kind of punish Egyptian players, punish Greek players, punish Norse players for playing a little bit more greedy on this map. But in the end here, SuperAfim manages to make it work, gets the win. If you guys enjoyed this game, please consider hitting the follow on the Twitch. If you're on the YouTube, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys in the next game.